Welcome to this Listing Lighthouse tutorial on how to manage users and agents. After we log in to our administrator dashboard, we will go to Users, All Users. Here we'll see a list of the users that are currently on our website, including their name, email address, and their role within their website. There's administrators, there's office managers, there's real estate agents, and there are other roles that could be assigned to different users, and they all have different permissions. In this case, we will assume that we have hired a new agent, and we are going to add them to our website. So what I will do is I will click up here on Add New User. I will enter their username. I like to use email addresses, but you can use whatever you want here for the username. And this is going to be the username that this user will use to log into the website if they choose to do so. I will enter here agent5@abovemedia.ca. I am going to copy that for the email. First name is going to be Mark, and the last name is going to be Edwards. So now that we have Mark Edwards here, we don't need to add anything else here unless we want to change the default language for some reason. We will leave the password field as it is because it's generating a secure password, and we will send the new user an email about their account or not. In this case, I won't because this is a demo, but you can do that if you want with your users. The important thing is that the role for this user is going to be real estate agent. When I click on Add New User, that user will show up on the list of users, but we will see that it's missing some information. Now that WordPress knows that this is a real estate agent and not any other type of user, then we can go into this new user. We're going to click on Edit, and we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom where we have biographical info, which we could enter. In this case, we will not use that, but you could use that if you wanted to. We have a position, which is going to be shown in the front end if we have an about page. In this case, I'm going to enter real estate agent. We are going to add a mobile phone. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're going to upload a profile picture. Let's go with this one. We'll select that. Let's say he speaks a couple languages. And we could upload any certification logos that they have here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to click here on Update User. And what that does is it has updated the entire profile for this user. Now, what does this mean now that I have added this user as a real estate agent? I can go to any listing and assign it to them. So for example, let's take a look at this gorgeous 4-bedroom. It's assigned to Lisa Smith right now. But now I have Mark Edwards here, and I can assign it to Mark Edwards and click on Update. Once this is updated, if I look at it on the front end, it will show Mark Edwards' contact information. So the office manager, if there's a lead for this property, the office manager will get the original email, and Mark will receive a copy of that because the listing is assigned to them. Now, this website also has a page for who we are. And if I go to that page, I will see that Mark is not added on here. that doesn't happen automatically. I will have to go in and manually add Mark. But before I do that, I'm going to add another agent to this website. I will go back to my dashboard. I will go to users, add new user. This is going to be Samantha B at abovemedia.ca. We're going to copy that and use as an email as well. And we're not going to send her an email, and she's going to be a real estate agent. I don't need to save this. I will go into their profile down here, click on edit, and I will add the information that we are missing. We will enter real estate agent as the position, a phone number, a video URL for this one. We're going to use a profile picture as well. That's going to be her. We'll select that. And she is going to speak some languages as well. So we will update that user. Now that we have our new agents added, let's take a look at how we're going to add them onto this page. For that, I'm going to go back to pages over here on my dashboard, but I will right click that and I will open it in a new tab. The reason why I did that will become apparent in a bit. Over here, I can see a list of the pages that are created on this website. I will go down to who we are, which is the page that I want to edit, and I will click on view. Once the page loads in the front end, I will click up here on enable visual builder. Because I am logged in as an administrator, I will be able to edit this page in a similar way that people see it in the front. So our elements will load over here, and we are using Divi, which is a WordPress theme that is made up of sections, which are represented in blue, rows, which are represented in green and are made up of columns, in this case 4 columns, and modules, which are represented in gray. If I want to add a new agent here, I have several options. The easiest thing to do would be to turn this 4-column row into 5 columns. I can do that by hovering over the green area and then hovering over the 4th icon from the left, which allows me to change the column structure. If I click that, I now have 4 columns. I can select 5, and that will create an additional column for me over here all the way to the right. What I could do here, and the easiest way to duplicate any module, is to hover over the gray area here and click on duplicate module. That will create a copy of this one right below it. Then all I have to do is hover over it again and click, drag, and drop that module where I want it. Now you will notice that because this is an exact copy of the previous module, it has the wrong person on it. I will go back to my user, which is the user for Samantha B, and I will look at this URL where it says user underscore ID. It says user ID equals 8. So back to my visual builder, I will click on the module settings icon here, and where it says realtor ID equals 6, I will change that to an 8. And I will save that. That will promptly load in my agent that I just loaded in. obviously the first thing we'll notice is that there are a couple things wrong here. First of all, this agent has a view my video link that others don't, and that makes her block taller. So what I can do is I can go back to her user, scroll all the way down where it says update, where it says video URL. I will delete that, and then I will update that user. That will at least get rid of that. The other thing that we'll notice is that now each column is too narrow to display the entire information. So for example, this email address here is cut off. We're gonna have to get a little creative with our use of columns here. What I will do is I will create a new row by clicking on this green plus icon right here, and I will select 4 columns. I will not insert a module, and I will move this new column up. I will drop that column before the other column, and now I'm going to move the owner and the office manager to the center columns in that new row by dragging this one here and our office manager over here. Now we're going to have the owner and the office manager at the top. This row, we're going to convert back from 5 to 4. That will reload our shortcodes. And then over here, I will create a copy of this one. We can see that it already looks much better. And I will drag one of these over here. And now I can use this one for the other agent that I added right before this one, which was our guy Mark over here. That leaves me with a nice layout, and you can always play around with these. You should know that columns that are empty, that do not have a module in them, will not render on devices. So this will look fine on all screen sizes. Another thing that you should be aware of is that WordPress will save a copy every time you save a page, and you can go back many revisions back. So don't be afraid to play around with this. Don't be afraid to mess things up, because you can always go back to a previous version. If you have questions about this, please let us know, contact support, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. The final step, and very important step that we need to follow here, is to save this page. So I'm going to click down here, and I'm going to click on save. And once it's saved, if I go to another browser where I am not logged in and I refresh that page, those changes will have been published to the final page. Again, if you have any questions about this, please let us know. We'll be happy to assist you. And thank you very much for using Listing Lighthouse.